Hello guys, I know it's been a long time. Please do not come for me. I have gotten 2 phone calls from people, not phone calls, but Rupert has reached out to me and another friend of mine has reached out to me and was like, hey, where are the videos? Guys, I've been in deep thought, okay? I am in deep thought. I'm holding the camera right now. So if the quality is shaky, it's because my arm is getting tired. I have my arm on my leg holding the camera. As you can see, the truck has a new addition. I got to hatch a little camp like topper for the truck. I went on a road trip to buy it and I needed something to keep my things dry in the back. So I went ahead and got that. I gotta hold the camera. Guys, I had this whole speech planned of what I was gonna say, but honestly, I don't know what I'm gonna say right now because I'm a little like, I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place, you know? I got offered a job at a warehouse in a state that is about 6 hours from me, but here's the catch. That state has gotten a spike over the weekend of the coronavirus. So going in a warehouse environment right now might not be the smartest move. But realistically, I am in a state that has one of the highest. And I have no job. And I mean, yes, I am at my sister's, but you know, I have to be realistic. Where's the longevity in that, you know? So I'm having to really ask myself some hard questions. Like, what is my life going to look like in this new world? And what does that mean? You know? I don't know. Guys, I really don't know what to say. I was a waitress, and before I was a waitress, I worked as a CNA, and my job as a waitress is no more. That I don't see that coming into fruition, like being a job again, for a very, very, very long time. And let's be honest, being a waitress wasn't going to give me any sort of financial security. I had nothing in a 401k, no money put away. I had no health insurance working as a waitress. I was making $2.13 an hour. So, I mean, let's be honest, there was no future in that either. But what job can I really hold in this new world? What does that mean? I have no high school diploma. I never achieved my high school diploma due to circumstances. Whenever I got into a new state and I would try to go back to school, things wouldn't work out. And then I had to leave due to money issues, you know, working in a restaurant, living paycheck to paycheck. At that point, I was living through tips. You know, a lot of people, you know, they don't understand the custom of tipping. And, you know, these restaurants are basically, they have a pretty good situation. These bosses, they say that they're required to pay at least minimum wage, but the way that they manipulate the books, when I was a waitress, I used to get checks that says, this is not a check, non-negotiable. But yet I will come home with like 120 sometimes in a week's worth of work. I'll come home with 120 and I'm like, but how is this possible? But it's like the way they shift the numbers in the back and, you know, it makes it look like it's evened out somehow. And that's happened to me at every single job I've worked in as a server. And, you know, it's a walking joke. We all know it and we all say, you know, like somebody should just report them. Like somebody should just report them. But nobody ever reports them because, you know, people need a job and that's how they get you. They put a fear in people and they're like, you know, you're living paycheck to paycheck. So you can't really, sorry guys. You can't really do much because you need the money, unfortunately. So you're stuck in a pretty shitty situation. But that's not a thing anymore, I feel like. So What is a new job in this new world? What does this mean? So these are the questions. I can't take this job. On top of it, this job is only working on part-time hours due to COVID-19 and state restrictions that they're in, because this state has one of like the leading states that has the coronavirus. So they're only operating on part-time hours. I'll be working, let's do the math. I'll be working from, okay, let's say I'll be working 6 hours a day, 3 days out of the week. So let's do the math. At 13.25 times that by 6 hours equals 79.50, right? 79.50. After 79.50 times that by 3, and that's $238.50, right? Now you times that by 4, because you get paid 4 times a month. That's $954, right? That's before taxes. Now, with that, you have to factor in, now that you're considered an employee, you'll have to get health insurance. If you decide to get health insurance, that's going to come out of your check before taxes are taken away. So this is an unlivable wage. There's no way I'm going to find something to live off of, making $9.54, gas, my cell phone, there's just no way I'll be able to live with that. So that's not even an option. But then it's like, what is an option? What do I do? I don't know, guys, but I feel like I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place, and I've been feeling very discouraged to shoot videos because I'm like, what am I supposed to talk about? It's like weird. It's like a weird parallel, because at moments I'm like, when I feel like everything is just getting so intense, when you have those times in your life, guys, where you feel like the problems just seem to be like coming on and on and on, and you're like, oh my Lord, like, when is this going to like end? Like, when am I going to get a little break from life? And you're telling like the universe, you're telling the world, like, can you slow down? I need a minute to catch my breath, because, reality and everything just keeps coming at you, and you get this anxiety, and you're just like, and you got to take a deep breath, and you feel like people just don't understand, because all of this is happening in your head, and you're quiet, and people are reading your silence as, okay, she's fine. But it's like, no, I'm not fine. In my head, I'm trapped in this whirlwind of like everything that's going on, and I feel like I just want to scream, but people will look at me like I'm crazy. But yet, we live in a world that I worked a job for 6 years, and what do I have to show for it? I have no health insurance. I have gotten no health insurance through that job. I got no benefits through that job. No, nothing to my future. But that's the world that we lived in. And now we're in a world where that job realistically is no longer going to exist for a while. So what does this mean? I don't know. I just want to talk about the reality for a lot of people right now during COVID. I know that I'm not the only one. I know that a lot of my fellow waitresses, a lot of them were people that probably went to prison for like petty crimes and stuff like that. Or I met a lot of them that were like that. I met a lot of people that were older that didn't have education. I met a lot of girls that, they got pregnant, had to drop out of school, had no education. I met a lot of girls that were trying to get an education. I met so many different stories, in working in that field. And, I know that a lot of people are going to be affected by that, and what does that mean? How do we reinvent ourselves in this new world? What is going to be the new jobs, in this new world? And how can we minimize the risk versus the reward? And how do we now make it so that people can actually have a living wage? What is that going to mean in this new world? And that's the conversation that I feel like people are not having. Like, honestly, my friends make fun of me, but I've been thinking about getting a camper, where something that I can live in the back, and figure out what job, because every offer that you have has an expiration date, whether you choose to admit it or not. I love my sister dearly, but let's be honest, I can't live with her for the rest of my life. That's an impossibility. So I have to start thinking about, how can I make a life for myself in this new world with the limitations that I have? And that can get overwhelming on top of everything else. I don't know what that means to me right now. I want my videos to be positive and cheery, yes, but I also am documenting what's real, and I'm documenting my reality, and I can only share my experience, and that's currently what I'm going through, and I'm trying to figure out what is life going to realistically look like for me. What is it going to look like for me? What does this mean? Have I been studying online for the GED? Yes. Have I been reading the books? Yes. But is the curriculum going to stay the same? I don't know. How is that going to work? I have to do research on that. But then on top of that, then what is school? Everything is going to be online. I grew up in a generation that I wasn't exposed to much technology, and hold on guys, my camera's about to die. I had to switch to my phone, so sorry if you hear a different quality or see a different quality. You guys get to see the back a little more. But like I was saying, I'm at that weird age where I grew up in the 90s. I was born 1990. I'm at that weird age where I remember the first Apple computer when it came to school, and it was in black and white. And then I also remember having a beeper. I remember having like the beginnings of technology, but it wasn't really like readily available. My school only had about 4 of them. So, you do the math, a whole entire school, 4 computers. There wasn't much exposure. And then, we were poor growing up, so we didn't have money to have a computer in the house. I remember when we would go to friends' houses and they had computers, that's how we would log into MySpace. Hashtag remember if you had MySpace. But that's how we used to log into MySpace and AOL and all that. But that was, if you had a friend. And then on top of that, of course, you know how friends are. They always want to be on the computer, and then when you're on it, they're like, only for 15 minutes, only for 10 minutes, because like my mother said that, we can't be on the computer for a long time. But it's like, I just saw you be on the computer for an hour. But you know what? That's your computer, so I guess I can't complain. I'm over here using your computer because I ain't got a computer because I'm broke. Okay, but that's how I grew up. So I didn't really get exposed to like computers, and I'm still been struggling. You think I'm worrying about getting a computer? Guys, honestly, this camera that I have, I don't think I ever really showed it on camera, but this Canon camera right here has been a blessing in life. The mic was a gift. This stand was a gift. The camera was a gift. It really has been a blessing. So I'm really, really grateful that I do have that. But would it be 10 times easier if I had like a MacBook Pro and, because I have the iPhone and it would have like the whole Apple ecosystem? Yes, but I cannot afford that. So that's not a reality for me. And on top of that, I don't even have a solid place to live, for like a long time. So that's the least of my problems. But, with that being said, I always want to go back to the positive, and I know that I'm not the only one that feels like, whoa, like life is coming at me hard right now. 2020 is kicking my ass, and I need 2020 to back up a little bit, because you know what? Me and her are about to get into the ring, and there's about to be some hands thrown, because you really trying me right now. I get it. I know I'm not the only one. So when I'm going through that right now, and it's so fitting that I have this on, because really, guys, I know this is going to sound on some hippie, shit, but I love trees. I love trees. Do I like to walk in nature and be in nature? In a controlled setting, yes, I would love that. But like out in the nitty gritty nature, nah, you're not going to see me camping. I might do glamping. I might be in a nice RV, that type of situation in nature with like a hot tub and like, like good food, like that type of situation, yes. But you will never see me like in a tent. But yeah, I'm thinking about getting a camper so that I can live in the back of my truck. Can we talk about hashtag confused? I am a woman. I am entitled to be as confused as I would like to be. I am a person. I am allowed to be confused as I would like to be. Everybody can be as confused about however you want to live your life. I am living in two parallels, okay? That's what I'm doing. I'm living in a, I want to be in nature, but I want to be in a controlled setting in nature because nature be doing too much sometimes too. And you know, she's a little temperamental. So, boom. Long story short, I like to go outside and I like to just look at the trees, right? Sounds crazy. Like, I like to just look at the trees. And what I like to, what I think about is like, you know how long it takes for like a tree to grow from a seed? It takes a really, really long time. And to think that some of these trees are going to last longer than me. They're going to be here way after I'm gone, and to see how resilient they are, that we've built around these trees, but they're still thriving in their new environment, you know? These trees are, you think trees are used to being, grown out of concrete? No, they're used to being in lush forests with rich soils, but we've teared them down and we've built on top of that land, but they're still resilient and they still pop out and they still make a way to grow in this new existence. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm trying to be more like a tree and I'm trying to grow in this new world, whatever that may look like. And I don't know what that's going to look like. And I don't realistically know what's going to happen. What I know is that when I think about my life in parallel to the tree and how long it took the tree to grow, then in tree years, I'm a baby, like I'm still a sapling. I know that sounds crazy. Go down the rabbit hole with me real quick. Okay. In tree years, yes, I did say that, in tree years, because in my head, this is how I theorize it. Okay. A little sapling, I don't know, do the math, how long it takes to grow into a tree. It probably takes like years and years and years and years and years, right? Right? So a full blown like oak tree could be like thousands of years old, right? So in comparison to a tree's life, I'm still like a little sapling. So it's going to take a long time for me to grow. So I still got time to grow. And my hair sort of looks like the tops of trees. And I love it. I love it, So just call me a tree trunk and I am growing. And I'm going to continue to grow. And when I think about it, we are all resilient and we have to remember our resiliency and we will snap out of this. I just don't know what that's going to look like. But I sure as hell am going to enjoy figuring that out, because what am I going to do? Just give up? Like, what's the alternative, guys? Like, just giving up? Like, that's not an option. I don't even put that as an option. I can't give up. I have so many people hitting me up and they're like, things are just ending. You might as well just come over and be with me until, I got to go back to work, and then, you can go back. And you always say how you wanted me to yourself. Like, look, you think I'm going to settle for that? Like, no, I am a queen. I am not going to settle for bad behavior and just bad talk like that in general. You know how, like, that's a whole nother story. I'm not going to even go into that rabbit hole. That'll be a separate story time for you guys where I could talk about the countless. If you guys want the tea, if that's what y'all really want, I can spill the tea about all these men in my phone being like, just come through, just come through. I mean, like, it's hilarious. It's like, really? Really? Now you got time? Now you got time? Ain't nobody got time for you now, because I'm not going to put myself at risk for some shallow interaction because now that you're bored, now you have time for me? No, you didn't have time for me when the world was open. I don't have time for you when the world is closed. So you're closed off of my life. How about that? Enough of that, guys. I'm going to get my little culito back inside, and I love you guys for watching, and I'm going to actually post this. And I'm so grateful that I came and posted this video, because I was feeling so like depressed, and I was like, how is it gonna happen? What am I gonna do? But honestly, I feel good about it. I feel good about this, and I'm going to make a life for myself. So on that note, I am going to sign off, and deuces.